everybody, CW here. I got a new addition, something I've wanted for a while. I've really resisted buying one because they've been so much money, but recently they've come way down in price. This one here was, I want to say it was 89 bean sprouts. I'm not selling them. I don't have them for sale. It's one I picked up. You see what it is. Made by Teslong. It's a good name in these. And I chose this one for a couple reasons. There was a little bit cheaper one that wasn't 1080p. I don't know that it was required to have 1080p, but I figured I know what that is, and that's a little better resolution. And the whole idea of having one of these is so you can see inside areas that are not visible. So I got the better one. It was about $20 more or $15 more for that over the other one. This is a rigid wand, 32 inches, I think. So it should be plenty long for any barrel that I'm going to want to use it for. I almost wish you could buy these with like a 14-inch and then like a 36-inch. So you'd have a short one and a long one. You wouldn't have to always have that long one when a short one is going to do a lot of what you need. You know, it'll do all your pistol stuff. It'll do your gas ports and your ARs for most barrel lengths. Just would be nicer than having to deal with this big long one. But this isn't too awful bad. So it comes with the cable for the screen, and it comes with a screen. I don't know what size this is, 4.5 or 4 3/4 inches. Little kickstand. It comes with a charge cord for the box, and it comes with a USB cable to hook into your computer. And I didn't read the instructions yet, but we got instructions over here. Safety warnings, inspection cameras, all that kind of good stuff. A return label if you have a problem. 2 user manuals. I don't really know why there's 2. NTG digital bore scope and NTG USB bore scope. I don't know if I have both or only one. One of the other nice things about this one, and Tommy Boy helped me pick this one out, is he said that make sure you get all the mirrors, because what happens is if you get the one with just the 22 mirror, and you put it in a larger bore, it walks away from the side, and you got to kind of finagle it, and you don't get a good sharp picture. So when you have the correct size mirror tip, and I'll show you them in a minute, it allows it to center itself in the bore. And they're like an aluminum soft material, so there's no worry about you scratching anything in your bore. But there's a 38 caliber mirror. And there's a 24, and there's a 22, and there's a 45. It's all it is, just a mirror. So the light comes in, the camera comes in from right here into that threaded hole, and it reflects off that mirror up, and it focuses really close. Now I had one of these before, but I had a mechanics version, and it's designed for, you know, cylinder walls, gas spark plug holes, stuff like that. And it would only focus like an inch away, 1.5 inches away, out to 4 or 5 inches away. So inside a barrel was too close and it couldn't focus. You could see, but it was all blurry. So I returned that and went about a year or so without one. And when I just did this 350 Legend rebuild, where I picked up a barrel in 300 hammer and took the 300 Legend barrel off the upper and made it a 300, took the 350 Legend barrel off and made it a 300 hammer. I decided to keep the 350 Legend and mount it up on another upper that I built from spare parts. And when I put the gas block on, I was really conscious of and wanted to use a bore scope to align my gas port. And it's a real handy way to do it, because you can tell when you're properly aligned. You put the bore scope in, you line it up under your gas port hole in the barrel. And it's very easy with this one. I'll show you here. It comes with a rubber tip to protect your threaded end. That's a lock nut on there. And then this foamy comes off. This is just a protective foamy for storage. But it comes with this nylon tip. So you go up against your barrel from the outside and you say, okay, that will put me right at the gas port. So you take this thing and you slide it down to there, and it's just rigid enough that it won't move, and it's tapered so it fits right in the bore. So you slide it right in, get your protective, your correct diameter tip on there, mirror on there, slide it in the bore up to that point, and then just spin it till you find your gas port. And once you find the gas port, you leave it there. Now you turn your gas block and you'll see part of the hole's lined up, not lined up, not lined up at all, part of the lined up, back it up, perfect. All right, perfect lineup. Stop right there and set your set screw. It's going to be difficult, so you just snug up the set screw so it'll still move a little, and then get it final adjust, and then tighten down your set screws and you're done. So you know there's no guesswork. You know your gas port hole is completely, perfectly aligned, and it'll alleviate a lot of the problems people have with a misaligned gas port. You know, if half of it's showing, it's like having an adjustable gas block turned half down. So it may function for some loads, really high pressure loads, high gas loads, yet some loads may not function, and you'll be ripping your hair out because it should function and you don't know why. So this is an easy way to tell when your gas port is properly aligned when you install a gas block on a AR, either 15 or 10, or any one of a number of different guns with a gas port that has to align. It's an easy way to do it. Now, a word of caution, if this is something that you think is neat and you want to get. More good guns have been ruined, or more shooters have ruined their taste for their firearm by getting one of these and looking inside the barrel, because you think you found something. You think you see something that's not right. You think you see something that's wrong. You think you see something that you just don't like. Yet the gun may shoot perfectly fine. It may function perfectly fine. It may operate. It may shoot very accurately with a very ratty looking barrel. So what I'll offer to you is you can try and solve a problem with it if you know you have a problem, but don't go looking for problems with a bore scope until you really know the ins and outs and hows and whys of your gun and guns and barrels, chambers, leads, crowns, gas ports in general, because you'll just make yourself crazy. So we're not going to use this one because we're not going to hook into the computer, so we'll put that back in the box. We're not going to use the charging cord. It's got a very neat feature, and that is that it's got a little push button lock for the camera cord. You put it in and it clicks in and it won't come out. I'm going to leave my protective cover on. And then when you put it on here, you want to be careful. You've got a slot and you got a little red dot. Those two have to line up. Otherwise, you're going to bend your pins and you're going to be an unhappy camper. Line up your slot with your dot, push it on, and then pull your screw back and tighten it down. And there you go. Now, we just have to select a mirror for the job at hand. So let me get a firearm, something we can look down. Stand by. All right, so let's look at the hammer. It's going to be a little hard to video this because of the space required, but I'll try and get this in. I'm going to have to adjust. So your camera lens, your camera mirror is delicate, so you have to be careful. It just threads on these fine threads. You've got a set screw here to adjust how far it goes on for your focus. So you have to read the directions to find out what it's supposed to be. I'm going to set it right there, and hopefully it's going to be good. I'm going to have to adjust you in the camera, so stand by. I'm going to move the camera. All right, sorry for the strange angle, but like I said, it's going to be difficult. So to turn our camera on, we have to push and hold the on button, and then Teslong will come up. And there's what we can see. That's the fuzzy there is the mat. So I'm going to set this here. I think you can view that. And I'm going to hope that the cord is long enough to get this into the camera. It's not going to be. So I'm going to have to move things a little bit. But first I'm going to do like I said to you. So here's our gas block. There's our muzzle. So let's set this up. So that should get us the gas block. So I'm going to get this in the muzzle. And then I'm going to move this over. And look at there. There's our gas block. Just like that. Let's get some of this stuff out of the way, and maybe this will make it better, easier. I can't move the gun back because that's just what we have for room. And maybe I can put this up here, but there's our gas block. I'm sorry, our gas hole. And you can see I got a little bit of copper fouling, which is surprising because this barrel was slick and smooth. And there's actually a burr there at the gas port. It looks like it's burnished off. It doesn't look like it's sticking down, but it looks like it was. And there we go. We can see that gas port is aligned just fine. There's nothing there half open. I know it's black in there, but you can see it plain as day. If it was a problem, the light would reflect back and show. So let's spin this around a little bit, see how much we can do. Just rotating this inside the bore. I've never shot lead in this, but that almost looks like leading. See that little bit of silver there? That almost looks like leading. And you can see it on the top of the screen. I'm going to lose it here for a second, but if you look up here, this is the reflectives. This is the actual wall of the barrel. So this is the reflection of it. Look up here, you can see where that looks like leading. You see it there? It almost hangs down. I hope you can see that. Let's move our stopper so that we can get all the way down the barrel. We'll get all the way down the barrel to the lead, and that'll make it easier. All right, there's our lead. The lead is the end of the barrel where the rifling starts. And that's the end of the chamber. Right there, there's the shoulder. That's the neck. That's the shoulder of the chamber. That's the end of the case. There's the lead. Very short. If we can get this spun around, all the way around. If you put the stopper at the end of your barrel, this will spin smooth. It doesn't swivel, so you're wrapping the cord up. So it's kind of difficult. Let me put the stopper in. And now it'll spin. Now it'll spin at that one spot. It won't rotate. It won't go in and out. See how much better? The stopper holds it right in position. There we go. So that's going to be pretty neat. I'm not going to look for problems in here because the gun shoots good. But it's got a nice chamber. I do see a little bit of copper fouling in my rifling. But you're going to have some, and you almost want to have some, because that's filling up any pores that are in your barrel, and it's going to cut down on actual fouling. It's only going to foul to a point, and then it'll stop, usually. There's our gas port again. And there we go. Don't need to make this much longer. I'll be able to look at my barrels now, chambers, and gas ports with my Teslong bore scope. Check it out. CW out.